Hi, Sherry, you look beautiful. She says, I'm going to make sure my family and friends know about this health information. So Sherry, did you want to just say hi and welcome, and then we'll get started?
Yes. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yep, sound great.
Okay, good. Hey, everybody. I'm Cindy here tonight with Crystal. I want everybody for jumping on, and I'm really, really passionate about what she's going to share with you guys. For some of you that know, I've been on a health journey for a long time, and so I met Crystal because of somebody else who's on his own health journey through a mutual friend, and I've learned so much from her. She's really my mentor and my go-to person for so much now, and I'm just passionate about and excited about you guys hearing what she has to share tonight. And so she's traveled the world sharing this information with people about health and wellness and plant medicine. And so with that said, I'm going to let her take it away.
And what's crazy, thank you, Sherry, for just hosting this. What's really crazy, hi, Cheyenne. What's really crazy is if you would have told me 5 years ago that I'd be educating in the holistic health world, I would have never, ever, I wouldn't have believed you. I'm an engineer by schooling. I worked in corporate America for many, many years. This really movement has allowed me to transition to working from home, which is nice. And what really it's done is given me a vehicle to really impact the world. Our goal as a mission is to change 1 billion lives, and we do it through education. So let's dive right in. I think the two things that we really want to talk about, Sherry, right, which I think affects the most is probably gut health and maybe pain. Gut health and pain, I think, are those two things we'll target. And the reason I like to target those two, especially gut health, is when you do any sort of health education, you have to start with the gut. You have to start with what's going in your mouth, what's digesting, because there's two things that we know that's happening right now in America. Number one, we are the sickest generation this country's ever seen. We have the most people on prescription drugs than ever before. In fact, I just read a stat yesterday that 1 out of every 4 people, 1 out of every 4 is on 4 or more prescription drugs. And I am not against Western medicine per se, but I believe we are using it like a crutch. I believe just like we get a headache and take a Tylenol, Tylenol does not cure your headache. Tylenol stops you from feeling your headache, but your headache was caused by something else. Your headache is caused from dehydration, malnourishment. It could be a misalignment in your spine. It could be, something going on here. It could be a tumor, right, in your head. It could be something wrong and serious, and yet we cover it up with Tylenol. So we are literally treating symptoms in America, and we're never getting to the cause of the issue. And if we keep treating symptoms with chemicals, eventually we get side effects. I don't know if any of you have seen a pharma commercial recently, but it could say, this will lower your blood pressure, but it may cause blindness and your arm might fall off, right? I don't know. It just seems like the side effects. I'm like, man, I'd rather do something natural. Okay, that's what we're getting at here. So again, I'm not against Western medicine. I'm actually very thankful for it. But I know that if we're going to change our health, we've got to change two things: our dependency on prescription drugs and the food that's going in our body. We are eating, so we'll dive into gut health really quick. And when I knew that I had to study this for me, for my passion, is when I first met my husband. Because he was 23 years old at the time, and he was taking medicine with every meal because he had ulcerative colitis, UC, really bad. And I went to the doctor with him very early because I asked him, I said, what are you taking? You're taking this big pill every time you eat. And he said, yeah. He said, I have UC. And I said, how long are you going to be on medicine for? I didn't know what it was. And he said, forever. It's not curable. And I don't know if you've ever been there where you've been talking to someone that you care about and you really feel like you can't even help them. Right. And I said, I don't even like the sound of that. So I went with him to this doctor. I said, are there any natural remedies? The doctor kind of laughed at us and said, oh, what are you going to do? Juice or something? By the way, juicing's awesome, and I'll tell you why. But, and I said, yeah, like something else. He's 23. You're talking about taking out his colon already. And so I knew that we needed something different. And so we went on this journey of how does the body work and how do we heal with plants? And what I do know is most pharmaceutical drugs started out as a plant. Aspirin, Sherry, do you know what aspirin started out as?
No.
Willow bark. So willow bark was the base of aspirin, and they found that it thinned people's blood. But we, instead of using the natural form that God created, right, we now put chemicals in it, make it stronger, extract it, do something with it so that we can patent it and sell it for a price. Instead of most people, and most people may need stronger stuff, but most people could probably just use the natural. So I'm going to talk about gut health and breaking down food. So let's talk about when we eat, what happens. So we start eating food. We have these enzymes that are all throughout our digestive tract. They're released by our pancreas to break down food. They're digestive enzymes. And we have like a bank account of digestive enzymes that break down different types of food groups. So you have an enzyme that breaks down proteins into an amino acid, fats into a fatty acid, right? Sugar into a simple glucose. Proteins, but all of the different things we have to break down to the smallest molecule, so your body can actually take that and use it, right? Amino acids are used to build muscle, to repair things. So what happens, which is happening all the time, when we lose the ability to fully break down that food group? And it's happening. Most of us at some point in our life will become lactose intolerant, gluten intolerant. We won't fully break down our proteins, right? Things will happen like that. So over time, we actually start developing problems because we in our body have unbroken down items in our body. So unbroken down protein, by the way, how many of you love to eat protein? I eat a lot of protein. Athletes pound protein. They want the amino acids. They're looking for those amino acids in the protein. But if you lose the ability to fully break down protein, you actually will create uric acid crystals in the blood. Uric acid crystals cause all sorts of havoc, right? Gout, arthritis, different things like that. So what can you do to help that? So if you've already reached a point where you're having where you know when you eat ice cream, you have that pain, or you eat gluten and all of a sudden you're bloated and ballooning up, right? So when you hit that point, if you already have, you have to pair it with an enzyme. You have to pair that meal with an enzyme in plant form to help break down that meal. For example, if you have uric acid in the blood, maybe you already have arthritis, you have unbroken down proteins in your body. Long time ago, it was discovered that pineapple, papaya, kiwi, all have packed proteolytic enzyme, protein splitting enzymes in there. So if you eat papaya, pineapple, and kiwi, anytime you eat your protein, it's going to aid in the digestion of that protein. So the Hawaiian people, they were smart, right? They're pineapple chicken, right? I just keep thinking about that. They knew what was going on. So if you can always eat that, if you can pair it with your protein, you will now conserve your pancreatic enzyme and you won't have that issue anymore. And by the way, we can do that with any food group. So if you don't always have pineapple and papaya on you and everything else to break down a full Thanksgiving meal, you can also take a dehydrated capsule. So packed in here, this is what's called a full spectrum enzyme, plant-based, 100% vegan. If you take this before you eat, it will aid in the digestion of your meal. So I'm going to show you a little example how this works using a snack pack pudding. So I know all of you are not eating snack pack, I hope not, but I use snack pack because it has all kinds of different stuff in it. So snack pack has dairy in here. So most people will hit that point where they become lactose intolerant because, by the way, you don't develop those enzymes anymore past the age of like 8. So most of us mammals are not really meant to drink milk past the time they wean from their mama, right? So I'm going to stir this snack pack here. And what I want to show you, let me grab a cup, is that I could stir this all day long and it's not going anywhere. In fact, I could turn it upside down and it's just going to stay right there in the container. So what I'm going to do now is put this full spectrum enzyme into the pudding, pour it out. Again, this protein has lots of different stuff in this. By the way, this tastes like a salad. So if any of you are suffering from heartburn or indigestion, you open it up, pour it right in the mouth. Tums is the worst thing you can do. Prilosec, it actually stops. It's an antacid. It stops the acid regeneration to help fully break it. It's the worst thing you can do. It'll treat a symptom, but this will do the same thing naturally. So this is how I got my brother-in-law on these. We went to Mexico and we were having some Mexican food and some margaritas, and he was getting heartburn so bad. And I said, just take one of my pills. He's like, I don't need any pills. I'm like, just take it. And now he's hooked, right? He was popping Tums like crazy. So this is in here. I just put this in here. I'm just going to stir it around and kind of let it go to work here. And in about a minute and a half or so, it'll just sort of break down this pudding here. I also open it up and give it to my kids. My kids, unfortunately, love dairy, right? So they love pizza, they love yogurt, they love ice cream. So we just sprinkle it in there and mix it around. If they do have cereal, we or anything with sugar in it, we just pour it in there and mix it around, so I know as a mom that I'm at least conserving their pancreatic enzymes and helping aid in the digestion. I noticed that as soon as I started being consistent on taking these enzymes, that I became really regular. So I want to tell you something. We tend to talk a lot of poop in these meetings. But if you're not pooping, it's not good. Like if you are not regular, I mean, we eat 3 times a day. I remember, Sherry, actually, I remember traveling and I would sometimes not go for 2 or 3 days. And I'm thinking, I'm still eating 3 times a day. And for 2 days, that food is sitting in me. I mean, it literally rots in you like outside of you. I mean, it's just sitting there in my system. So you can see right away here, this is now liquefying this pudding. So now, this will not make you run to the restroom, but you are going to feel so much better. What it actually did scientifically is it broke down each of these molecules to just wanted to check the time, sorry, to the smallest molecule possible so that you can digest it easily, pass it easily, and the most important part, get nutrients from it. So how many of you you can eat a massive salad at lunch. By the way, fresh and living foods, you don't need one. You don't need to take one. If you're eating a banana or raw carrots, they have enzymes in it to help aid in the breakdown of food. Let's get back to juicing. That's why juicing works. So juicing not only is packed full of nutrients, it is packed full of enzymes. And everything's really ripped out of there, all the fibers and stuff, so your body doesn't have to digest. It can just suck in the nutrients, use the enzymes, and go on its day. That's why these documentaries where people have healed themselves from all kinds of things from juicing. This is the same thing. This is an enzyme packed in a pill. So juicing's tough. I highly recommend it. I juice every day. But if I can't juice, you better believe I'm taking one of these with my meal. If you take it on an empty stomach, it becomes therapeutic. So my neighbor who was really having trouble going to the bathroom, or my mom who has cholesterol crystals that she's been battling for 10 plus years. I love meeting people that have cholesterol problems. I don't love that they have cholesterol problems, but I just know I have a solution. I know I can give them enzymes and they take them on an empty stomach so it doesn't break down your meal, but it actually gets into the bloodstream and becomes therapeutic. Athletes, anybody with inflammation or that are trying to recover from something, they love, this is a full spectrum. It breaks down a whole meal. I have another one called Restore that's specifically targeted for athletes or people recovering. So people with back pain, maybe even they had back pain forever and they have that little bit of inflammation going on. Restore is the proteolytic enzyme, protein splitting enzyme, which, as we know, proteins split into amino acids, which help repair and heal and build muscle. So our Restore not only has powerful proteolytic enzymes, but it also has a little turmeric and curcumin in it, power couple, to help treat that inflammation. It's probably one of my favorite products that we talk about. So this is for everyday people, everyday eating. You will feel less bloated. You may even lose some weight, right? If you are a person that is having trouble breaking down their fats and it may be gathering, you can take this on an empty stomach and it can help clean some of that going on in you. We have seen amazing results, Sherry. I know you have a few stories. You and your family have been on enzymes for how long now?
Since January. And Courtney, my daughter, for those of you that don't know her, she was diagnosed with MS almost 8 years ago. And little did I know, really, that she was having a problem with digestion her whole life. Now I understand with what I've learned. And she was on the enzymes for 5 days. And she said to me, Mom, I have never felt better in my life. Yeah. And that for me was, I was sold for life. Yeah. Because I knew what she had gone through and how she'd struggled. Yeah. For myself, I had developed in the last year, arthritis in my hands to the point where it was really hard to type or do things anymore. And because I am self-employed and I'm typing all the time, I was telling my husband, I think I'm going to have to quit. Like, I don't know if I can do this anymore. It's so painful. And my knuckles were starting to get swollen and all of that. And with 10 days of being on the Life enzymes, I had 90% reduction in my pain. And in about a month, I would say it was completely gone and I was blown away. Amazing. And then the Restore that Crystal talked about, my husband had plantar fasciitis. Yes. And in about 5 days, taking it twice a day. He went from about a 7 or 8 pain, and he's got an incredible pain tolerance. He's not somebody that complains, to about a 1 or a 2, and then eventually it went away.
Amazing.
So the only time he has pain is if he doesn't take it.
Yeah. And I always tell everyone, if you've had an issue for 6 years, you got to probably give it 6 months to totally heal, right? For your body to recover. But blood, every ounce of blood that we have in our body recreates every 3 months. You guys, everything is reversible. And I use this, although I don't have an issue that I'm working on, I use it as I want to be proactive. I don't want to be someone, I'm 37 now, I don't want to be someone that hits 50 and now I'm having trouble, right? I want to feel good for a long time. And so our products are amazing. I probably will touch on maybe just at the end here, CBD, because it's a hot topic, and I think they're going to really mess it up. CBD has been cannabis. If you don't know what CBD is, CBD comes in high concentrate in the cannabis plant. The cannabis plant has been very misused in America. People have used it recreationally, and I won't judge there, right, if someone wants to, but there is huge medicinal value in this plant. And we've known it forever, with hundreds of years. And it's been documented that there were kids having seizures, and all of a sudden their seizures would stop, right? Or there'd be people that had PTSD or high anxiety, and they would lower anxiety. By the way, if you've ever tried our CBD fluid, which I'll get into in a minute, if you'll just put what it's done for you, what it's helped in the comments, we'd love to hear, or enzymes. If you've taken enzymes before, we'd love to hear what it's done for you or your family. But do we have a giveaway? Are we doing a giveaway?
Yes.
Okay, cool. And I'm going to ask for, if you stay on with me for just a few more minutes, we're going to give you, we're going to do a giveaway tonight where you guys can get a sample of some of this stuff. So CBD feeds the endocannabinoid system. So we have a system in our body that was discovered and named after the plant called the endocannabinoid system. Now, the endocannabinoid system is a system that has receptors all down the back of our neck, all throughout our body. These receptors are looking for CBDs, and our body naturally creates CBD. Did you know that? Our body naturally creates it. In fact, when a woman is pregnant or nursing, that's when we create more of it. We actually create more CBD in our body. We can also get CBD from other types of foods and plants. It just so happens that this cannabis plant has a high concentrate. Now, the job of the endocannabinoid system is to, number one, help us not feel pain naturally, okay? It's to protect us. The other job of the endocannabinoid system is to link all the other systems so they communicate with each other. It's like the master, like the motherboard system in our body is the endocannabinoid system. And it links the endocrine system, right? The hormonal system. I mean, how many hormone and thyroid problems do we have out there? It helps link the nervous system and the digestive system and the immune system. We have tons of autoimmune disorders out there. So what if you fed the endocannabinoid system? Because although we're producing CBDs, our bodies are not producing enough typically to feed all of these receptors. Just like most of us are deficient in vitamin C and magnesium, most of us are deficient in CBD. So it's why this plant works so well and works so different for different people. Now, the interesting thing about what we sell is we are all about nature. We want to go back to what God designed, because we know that we probably shouldn't take it. Like, there's a reason that we're sick, right? We're sick as a generation. So if we go back to nature, we want to keep this plant intact. So we have a product. It's not an oil. It's not mixed with any oil. It is 100% plant. It is called Brizo Pure Soothe. And the cool thing about this is the dose to take to feel these receptors is 2 drops. So it actually becomes very cost effective. With CBDs can be very expensive, but it becomes very cost effective, our Soothe product, because it's only 2 drops per dose. And sometimes everyone gets different results, by the way. Like me, I'm still nursing. I'm a little one, right? And so I don't feel it as much internally, but man, when I get a headache, especially a tension headache, I can rub it topically and my headache's gone. Some people, I just saw someone, they burnt their arm and then they put it on and it healed in like a day. And so CBD does different things for different people. We just don't know who needs it. I know and have researched, and the science has shown that CBDs can actually eat cancer cells. So for me, I keep it on hand for anything that I need it for, but I also know that I'm going to take it a little bit internally just as a preventative. A little bit internally preventative. I think I'm back. Okay, sorry, I got a phone call. Declined right away. But I just know that I've seen people shaking, and all of a sudden they stop shaking. So I don't know exactly, and we all don't know because the science was shut. You couldn't research the plant in the United States for many, many years. We can now start to research it. But we don't know everything about this plant. We do know that it's nature, and I believe it can't hurt. So I let everyone try it, but it does different things for different people. Some people will feel it right away. Some people feel it, and then all of a sudden they don't feel it anymore, and then but they stay consistent on it, and then all of a sudden in a month they feel it again, right? So some people, they weren't sleeping very well, all of a sudden, man, the last 2 nights I've slept better than ever, and then it doesn't seem to work for a while, and then all of a sudden it kicks in again, right? After consistency of feeding the endocannabinoid system. So it's an amazing plant. It's got amazing healing benefits. We would love to get anyone information on keeping it natural. 100% plant, no additive, no oil. Your body absorbs it a lot quicker. Our bodies are mostly water, right? So we can get you all that information. Our goal tonight is actually not to sell anything. Our goal is to educate. Our goal is to educate. We know what this has done for people. Sherry will add you to a private group called Health Wealth Community where you can see testimonies, you can see ingredients, you can ask questions. And I love that, Ken. Okay, most amazing product I've tried. So much pain, unable to sleep. Yeah, CBD is amazing for so many people. So immediate relief. I love that. Some people feel it right away, and I've seen it, and it just makes our job so much easier as we educate. So thank you for that input, Sherry. Thank you for being part of our mission. Truly, truly, you've been.
Thank you.
The last 2 months, you have been helping people with different problems, and I know your whole soul, your focus and purpose is to go out and just help people. And she's actually had people write things to her. They don't know her, obviously. They've written things to her like, you're just trying to sell me something, and she's like, I don't even want you. Like, I'll give it to you. I've watched her give away. She gives away too much product. Don't ask for product from her. But she gives away so much because she truly just knows the life-changing products that we have and wants to share with the world. So you can watch it over again. It's okay. We're gonna put it on the page here, but we are just wrapping up. But Pip, thanks for jumping on. Sherry, do you want to end with anything at all?
Yes, I just want to say again, everybody, thank you so much for jumping on. And if you know anybody who needs this information, please point them to my page so they could watch it. It'll be on until Saturday. And lastly, please comment that you were here so that I'm going to do a drawing for the giveaway.
Yes.
And I'm going to give away a sample of life. So if you can just make a comment, I was here, whatever you want to say is good, but just so that I know, so that I can draw names from a hat.
Yep. Perfect. So we'd love to.
And anything I can do to help, just let me know.
Thank you, Sherry, for being part of our movement. Love you all.
Thank you,
okay.
Crystal.